So that is about 95% sure to come around and bite you in the butt. So let's talk about that. So first of all, if she's on a leash, right, very vulnerable. That's why dogs have like behavioral problems on leash, but they don't have them off leash, because leashes just make them feel extremely vulnerable because they remove the ability to run away, right? Part of her listening to you while she's on leash, there's an unwritten agreement between you and her in that, okay, I'm gonna listen to you. All right, because I'm gonna go ahead and trust you, and I know that you're gonna provide consequences if I do a good job or a bad job, right? But if I'm gonna listen to you regardless of whether you're gonna correct me for not listening or whether you're gonna reward me for listening, if I'm gonna listen to you, you're gonna keep me safe in the way that I perceive safety, right? So personal bubble. Our personal bubble is right about here, right? But Shenzi's personal bubble is like a football field, right? So basically bottom line is, if she's on a leash and she's listening to you and you're allowing strangers to invade her space, that's only going to get you so far before she starts to learn that you are not going to protect her personal space, and she's going to go ahead and start advocating for herself in the ways that she was in her behavior assessment, where she started growling at me and I took the leash from you and walked away. Remember that? So she will be very quickly right back to that. If again she can't look up and say, dude, you just let this stranger into my personal bubble. And a stranger for her is literally anyone that doesn't live in that house with you. No matter how many times she meets aunt, whoever, you know, mom, dad, etc. Even if it's once a week, every single week, again, their dogs are like very black and white with things like, especially Shenzi. Dogs are very black and white with those types of things. You either live with me or you don't. You're an immediate pack member or you are not. So let's talk about like socialization, because that's what this is, right? Yeah. So first off, what is socialization? And let's like recognize what the opportunities are. So socialization opportunities. So number one, new environments, any place that isn't home. New humans, good. And new animals, okay? We talked about humans, new animals, or any animal that doesn't live with you guys, right? So that's first off. So anytime you have any of these things or a combination of multiple, this is a socialization opportunity, okay? So recognize that first. Second, what is our actual goal? Well, first off, we want to develop neutrality. Okay, so it's not positive, everything. It's actually neutrality. We want you to just really not care about it. It's not a big deal, right? And then second, we want her to habitually focus on you in these situations. Believe it or not, you can actually train a dog that in the face of any of these, they will actually, instead of doing what they think they, should do instinctually, they'll actually look to you, right? So that's the goal. Next, what do you do? So one, give her a job, or we call it a connector behavior. So basically a command, right? So some sort of command that you can hold her accountable to. A command that is easy to understand when and how to reward. A command that's easy to understand when and how to correct, all right? So basically, we create this habit by being in the habit of giving her a job to do in that moment, right? And keeping her connected to us. Next, provide consequences, okay? Provide consequences, both good and bad, for compliance or non-compliance of that behavior. And then lastly, avoid all outside consequences. All right, so trust, the goal obviously, which is habitual focus on you, and neutrality. Basically, if you're allowing others to reward her, they're basically kind of stealing this focus away from you. Additionally, if it really is rewarding, new humans are actually rewarding. And the moment I see them, I have been trained by other humans outside of the two of you to blow you off and to pull towards them to get rewarded, right? That's one way to look at it. Another way would be, you know, we let a stranger invade her space, and now she's anticipating a negative consequence coming from this thing right here. So again, we don't want you to be afraid. We don't want you to be excited about these things. Don't worry about it. Be neutral and just kind of look to me. So no, so sorry. She's, you know, we're training right now. You can't pet. No, they cannot meet, etc. And that's basically like the guidelines, you know, for socialization, right? So that's kind of like the initial phase when you're trying to socialize your dog. This is, you know, basically the opportunities. This is the goal you're trying to achieve, right? And this is how you go about doing it, right? So what happens is you go through this phase, understanding it, and then following through with the things. You basically charge up her social comfort. You also charge up her trust in your leadership as well, so that when there are like special occasions, I always tell people once a year I have the morning of Thanksgiving, I have like a 50-person turkey trot I go to in the park. It's like all my family. There's like 50 or 60 of us. And at the very end of that turkey trot, I'll let everyone pet my dog as long as my dog's cool with it, right? But everything's been so far charged up that if like once or twice a year I lose a little charge, it's completely okay. But I would say that you guys are still in like the charging up stage for sure. So just keep that in mind. Bottom line, eventually if you allow people to continuously meet her on leash as she's leashed and she's looking at you like, dude, I'm tethered to you, I'm literally defenseless, what do you do? You know, then she's gonna start to puff herself up, growl, bark, etc. So, makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay.